Hey everyone, so I was cleaning out a drawer the other day and I found this, the original iPhone SE. And just holding it, it feels kinda wild. In a world of these giant glass slabs we all carry, this thing feels almost like a little jewel. It was released way back on March 2016, which in phone years is like ancient history. And it got me thinking, it's 2025. Can this nearly decade-old phone actually survive? And maybe a better question is, why would you even want it to? Now, full disclosure, of course, this isn't my main phone. I can't run my whole life or my work off a screen this small. I do all that on my newer Pro iPhone. But this little guy, this has become something different for me. It's my fun phone, my weekend phone. You could even call it my digital detox phone. And honestly, I've fallen back in love with it for some very specific reasons. So today we're going to take a really honest, updated look at the first-gen iPhone SE in 2025. We'll cover the design, what it can actually run, the camera, and yeah, the battery. We definitely need to talk about the battery. Let's get into it. Okay, first up, let's just talk about the design. This is for me peak Apple design. It's basically the beloved iPhone 5S body, which means it has these beautiful matte chamfered aluminum edges. It's incredibly light, only when you pick this up after using a modern phone, it almost feels like it's not real. It's just so compact and easy to handle. And you can see the DNA of this design in the newest iPhones, with the flat sides. It's a design that just hasn't aged. It's comfortable, it's perfect for one-handed use, and it just disappears in your pocket. The build is a glass front with an aluminum back and frame, which still feels premium today. The display is, well, it's a 4-inch Retina display. By today's standards, it's tiny. The resolution is 1036 by 640 pixels, which comes out to 326 ppi. The same pixel density as many later iPhones, so text is actually really sharp and clear. But yeah, reading long articles or watching cinematic videos, it can feel a bit like looking through a porthole or squinting at a postage stamp. For quick glances, scrolling social media, it's totally fine, but you're not getting immersed here. The value of this design has fundamentally shifted. Back in 2016, this was an option for people who simply preferred a smaller phone over the larger iPhone 6s. In 2025, where nearly every phone is a massive slab, the SE isn't just a smaller choice, it represents a qualitatively different, almost rebellious approach to technology. It's a statement against the trend of ever-expanding screen sizes. And then, there's this. The 3.5mm headphone jack. Man, what a throwback. No dongles, no fuss. For me, as someone who loves just plugging in and listening to music, this is a massive feature. It makes this phone an amazing little iPod, basically. Perfect for lossless audio on the go without extra gear. This port, once standard, is now a rare and coveted feature for a niche audience, transforming what was a common utility into a key selling point for audio enthusiasts in 2025. Alright. Let's talk performance. Inside this thing is the Apple A9 chip and 2 GB of RAM. That's the exact same brain that was in the iPhone 6s. In 2016, that was flagship level stuff. In 2025, it's a different story. For basic things, calling, texting, Apple Music, podcasts, still surprisingly snappy, no real complaints there. But the moment you open a modern ad-heavy website, you feel the age. There's a bit of a stutter, a bit of a lag. It's not unusable, but it's not smooth. This isn't just about the chip's raw power, it's about how it copes with the modern internet. While the A9 is sufficient for the self-contained optimized code of many apps, it struggles against the bloated script-heavy nature of today's websites, which are laden with trackers and auto-playing videos. The phone is fast enough for its OS, but not for the web of 2025. But the biggest deal, the thing you absolutely have to know, is the software. This phone is permanently stuck on iOS 15. It still gets security patches, which is amazing, but it will never get iOS 16, 17, or anything newer. This is the software ceiling. And what's so fascinating to me is how capable iOS 15 still is in 2025. This is the core of my experience. I can scroll Instagram, check Facebook, use X, and chat on WhatsApp or Telegram without any major issues. The apps still launch, they still get updates, and they work. It's honestly a testament to how well Apple supported this OS and how long developers have maintained compatibility. However, and this is a big however, the cracks are showing. The clock is ticking. This phone is on a compatibility cliff, not a gentle slope. Some apps, especially banking apps or streaming services like Netflix, are starting to require iOS 16 or higher. I've already run into a few apps that I just can't download from the App Store anymore, and developer communities are already planning to drop iOS 15 support this year. So while it's great for social media, right now, its world is slowly shrinking. The current positive experience is fragile and time-limited. The transition from a usable secondary phone to an iPod with texting could happen very abruptly when a critical app drops support. Okay, the battery. And look, there's no way to sugarcoat this. It's pretty terrible. For me, and from what I've seen from pretty much everyone else online, you're looking at about 2 hours of screen on time, maybe 3 if you're lucky, and you turn everything off. One battery test under heavy load killed the phone in just 2 hours and 24 minutes. I can be at 100% in the morning, and by lunchtime, with just some casual scrolling and a few messages, I'm already reaching for the charger. It makes it completely unreliable to be your only phone. You just can't depend on it. And the why is pretty simple. It's a tiny 1624 mAh battery that has chemically aged over almost a decade. Mine is 78% battery health now. A battery's lifespan is tied to its chemical age, which includes factors like charge cycles and care, and after 9 years, degradation is significant. This small aged battery is trying to power a modern operating system and apps that are way more demanding than what existed in 2016. It's like asking a classic car to compete in a Formula 1 race. It just wasn't built for this kind of endurance. This right here is the single biggest reason why this is not even can be primary phone for me. The battery life forces it into that role. But in a weird way, for a detox device, that's almost a feature. The poor battery acts as an involuntary Pomodoro timer for digital consumption. You can't mindlessly doom scroll for hours because you know the device simply won't last. It forces you to be intentional with your usage because you know your time is limited. The phone's biggest technical flaw becomes the primary enabler of its new unintended purpose. Now, the camera. You'd think a camera from 2016 would be useless today, but I've been so pleasantly surprised. It's a 12 megapixel sensor on the back with an f2.2 aperture, and it can even shoot 4K video at 30 FPS, which is still impressive. The photos it takes in good bright light are great. They're sharp, the colors are nice, but what I really love about them is this retro tone they have. That's my personal take on it, at least. And I think I know why. Modern phones do so much computational photography. They stack images, they analyze scenes, they brighten shadows. This phone, with its older A9 image signal processor, doesn't really do that. It just takes the picture. The result is something that feels a bit more honest, a bit more like film, maybe. It has character. It's not technically better as it lacks the dynamic range of new phones, but for a casual photo, I find it really charming. I think it's still totally capable. So after using the iPhone SE first gen, again in 2025, what's the final verdict? How does it really hold up? As your one and only phone, I absolutely could not recommend it. The battery life alone is a deal breaker, and the shrinking app support is a real problem on the horizon. But that's not the point of this phone anymore. In my opinion, the iPhone SE has become one of the best secondary phones you can get. It's an amazing compact music player thanks to that headphone jack. It's a fantastic digital detox device that forces you to be more intentional with your time. And it's a perfectly capable backup phone for calls, texts, and basic social media for when you just don't want to carry a giant expensive brick around. It's a special little device. It's a reminder of a different era of phone design. And the fact that it's still this usable is pretty remarkable. It's not for everyone, but if you're like me and you're looking for a fun, nostalgic, and genuinely useful little gadget to supplement your main phone, yeah, it's still got a place in 2025. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Did you have one of these? Are you somehow still rocking one? Let me know your stories and memories down in the comments. As always, thanks so much for watching.